Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today's video is going to be about something that, I've been thinking about for the past couple of days. So it all started with an Instagram post from the Instagram account Spiritual Word, and they posted a screenshot of a woman who left a status, and her status said, "Never, I repeat, never marry a man raised by a single mother." Now, of course, this statement brought a lot of controversy, especially in reference to Black men, because a lot of Black men were raised by single moms. And that's pretty much the bulk of eligible Black men in our community who are single. They were also raised by, single mothers. So it's offensive to them to make such a, such a claim and our statement, regarding their upbringing. But despite that, I commented, and I left a comment. I'm not really thinking about it too much. And I commented and I said, I agree. It's completely different than men raised by his father or from a two-parent home. So I got 172 likes at the time I'm recording this. It's 172 likes on my comment with 155 responses. Now, granted, I consisted of some of those responses because, that day I had time. So I was responding to people that disagreed. But, that is my opinion. That's my opinion. But there is data to prove that children from two-parent households tend to have better outcomes in life, especially in the Black community. Black boys alone have less of a chance of going to jail and getting expelled from school if they are raised in a two-parent home compared to Black boys who are raised by their mothers. I talk to a lot of teachers because my mom is a teacher, and she will tell you that a lot of the Black boys come from single mother households and they do have behavior issues. They can't sit still, they don't listen, they have some disciplinary issues as well. Now, this is not to shame single mothers. Personally, I think motherhood is beautiful. I don't see anything wrong with a woman who is trying to raise her son to the best of her ability, but the fact of the matter is that there are key qualities and attributes that young boy is missing if he is being raised without his father. So, of course, majority of the men in the comment section responding to me had an issue with what I said. They thought that there is no difference at all. And it was really kind of disgusting to even see, because it made me think, okay, so you guys don't think having your father makes a difference or not? Like, being raised without your father, you can still become just as good as everyone else? Now, the answer to that technically is yes, because we all have equal opportunities when we become adults. But within our upbringing in our childhood, there are some differences, right? And the other thing about this is men who come from single mother homes, they don't understand. They didn't have their father in their life, so they're not going to understand those differences. In their mind, mama raised them right. In their mind, they became the man without a father, and they're fine. But within their relationships, in particular, a lot of men raised by single mothers do have some issues or struggle at some things that men who are raised in a two-parent home, or at least raised by their father, tend to just not have as much. Okay, now I'm also not saying that kids from two-parent homes are perfect. We already know that there's children from two-parent homes that are jacked up. But that's not the point here. The point is, majority of children that come from two-parent homes are not jacked up. Majority of men that choose to stay in the home with their mother of their kids as a wife and raise their children are not deadbeats, are not problematic and abusive and all these other crazy things that Black people want to put out there to excuse why single motherhood is better. Single motherhood is not better. It's not better to the people that are currently married, trying to figure out their marriage issues. None of them are saying, I'd rather be a single parent than be with my spouse, despite, the issues I'm having with my spouse. No one who's married is saying that. And shout out to Chrissy, because she did do a live and she said just that married people, despite their issues, are still not trying to become single parents. They still want to be married for the most part, and at least work on their marriage and their issues before they resort to that. Okay, single parenthood is not a elite club that everyone's trying to join. It's something that happens to you due to circumstance, situations, no other. So it baffled me that a lot of Black men in these comments had a serious issue with what I said. And what I said is the truth. And a lot of them were like, where's your sources? Cite this, cite this. And I told them, if you just go on Google and type in men from two-parent homes, you'll find multiple studies on this. This has been known for decades. This isn't news. And so they tried to make it seem like I'm lying or I'm not telling the truth because I won't hand deliver them the sources. Now, keep in mind, this is Instagram. Last I checked, if you post links on Instagram, it's not even going to work. So there's no point in me posting any sources on Instagram comments. You can't click on them and go. So I said, this is what you type in Google to find it. So they had a problem with that. And obviously, the men in the comments were from single moms and they had an issue with what I said. But the interesting thing is that the men from two-parent homes were not disagreeing with me or even bothered to comment. There were a couple of men. There were like at least less than 5 men who did come from two-parent homes and told me that I was actually correct. There is a major difference. There was one particular guy in the comment who gave his story and said that his father was raised by a single mother. However, his father married his mom, but as his son, he still noticed certain qualities in his own father that wouldn't have been present if his father was raised by his dad, the grandpa. So there are differences, and whether you are a single mom raising a son, or you're a man who came from a single mother home and you just don't want to acknowledge it, your inability to acknowledge this is also you saying that fathers just don't matter in the home, because at the end of the day, they don't contribute anything significant, which is why there are no differences. If you're able to acknowledge that there are differences, then you're able to also say fathers matter in the house, because they contribute something special that us as women, us as mothers, just can't do. I am a woman. If I have a son, I cannot teach him the keys of manhood. I'm not a man. That's not my place. And personally, as long as there's men around, I don't care to take on that role. Now, I don't have like all of the answers for how we're going to solve this, problem of men being raised with no male figures in their life. But one thing I will say is that if there is a young boy who doesn't have his father, he needs to be involved in as much masculine extracurricular activities as possible and just surrounded by other men during his free time, as much as he can. So sports plays into this, masculine type of skills classes like woodworking, fishing. I know there's a such thing as Boy Scouts. I know everyone clowns Boy Scouts, but those are entities, programs, and institutions that have a lot of men around. And young boys who have no fathers should be overwhelmingly in those programs. If able to afford it or whatever. And even if you can't afford it, there are programs that will fund it. There are programs specifically designed for single mothers to help their sons, especially in cities that are predominantly Black. Like, this is an easy research. They're giving out resources to single mothers pretty often in a lot of major cities where there are a lot of single moms. So fathers in the home matter. And if you're able to acknowledge this, then you're also able to say that there are differences between a man who did not have his father in the home, and between a man who did have his father in the home. And I'm not even really talking about marriage. I'm talking about men who were raised by their father. The father was in the house. Statistically, these men come out better. They tend to understand the main qualities of manhood firsthand compared to the men from single mother homes who had to grow up and learn it as they go by themselves. Okay, there just is a difference. But before I hop off, my follow-up comment, and I said men raised by their fathers are less emotionally driven, more disciplined, and logical overall, better communicators, and not easily influenced. They understand the meaning of being a man, provider, and a protector. Men raised in single mother homes struggle in some or all of these areas and tend to be more effeminate. Guys, this is the truth. Now, is it the truth for every single person raised in a single mother home, every single man? No, obviously not. Obviously, there's really accomplished men from single mother homes. I did not say all. I said some tend to have these qualities. Some tend to lack in these strong, valuable qualities of being a man. And you could just tell in the comments, these men were being very combative with me, they're very, judgmental of me. They were bringing up my love life and my relationship status to disprove what I'm saying. It just didn't make any sense. And I come from a 2-parent home myself. My parents are still married. I'm very close with my dad and my mom. So look, I can see the differences. Okay, there are differences, whether you want to face it or not. There just are. And it is what it is. Now, when we become adults, we have equal opportunity to succeed. But the data just says that people that come from broken homes tend to not succeed as much, and they blame it on that. Majority of the men in our prisons also come from fatherless homes as well. So that also tells you something. So let me know what you ladies think in the comments section down below. Do you think there is a difference between men who were raised by their father and men that were raised in fatherless homes? Let me know. Now, none of this is absolute. Didn't say all. I'm saying some. Of course, there's men in 2-parent homes that are jacked up, and there's men in single-parent homes that are successful, vice versa. No one is saying all. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will talk to you ladies in the next one. Make sure to like this video, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss it when I go live, and I will talk to you ladies later.